Good morning, welcome to this week's episode. I'm seaside today. I've gone up the coast to Suffolk, and a location that I have been to before but not photographed successfully. Last time I was here had a nice neutral density filter on. I was getting 2-minute exposures, and by the time the exposures finished the tide had come in. It was following me in, so I didn't really get much successfully. But today, oh, it's looking really nice. Today I've come here for sunrise, so I'm going to shoot this lovely bit of old pier here, and we've got a lovely peaceful sunrise. There's some lovely grasses behind me, so let's get to work. I was trying to keep this sand beautifully pristine, and a lovely lady's just walked up here all the way through it, nodded to me and walked all the way back out again. So we've got footprints I have to get rid of, but that's the way it goes. Right, let's take some pictures. Beautiful little scene here. I've almost gone 50-50 with the framing because the light and the colour in the clouds is quite high. I want to get that in because the cloud looks quite, I think it adds to the scene, it makes it very peaceful. And there's a nice little composition here with a triangle going on with these posts. The one on the right is really important because it's holding the image together. I'm using f/16, focused on the second post there, but I have got a grad on the top because it is going to burn out otherwise a little bit, and that's perfect. That is absolutely perfect. Now I'm not quite so close to this post here because I could get really close to it, but actually there's a circle around it where the tide's taken the sand away, and it kind of comes out a little bit, so it looks really nice. I've also avoided the lady's footprints by getting this close, so looks really good. So I just wanted to dive quickly into Lightroom just to show you what I've done with this image. So if you look at the histogram up here on the right, you can see that I've kept away from the highlights because I was worried about this area here burning out. As you know, the sun was coming up here, so this is the one just before sunrise, and the blacks also just about are kept in here, so most of the colour or most of the exposures around here, which is going to be the sky and the sand. Now I've switched the camera profile to Provia. Velvia was a bit too vivid, so let me just show you the masking that I've done here. So the first thing that I did was I selected the luminance range just to select these posts, and I just adjusted it over here because I was getting the little bits of the sand in as well. So it's just those 3 posts and a little bit here, and I've intersected that with a linear gradient because I want it to affect the post nearest to us more than the other, so I want them to gradually go lighter. So I adjusted the luminance range, and all I've done is pulled the shadows back a little bit just without making it too bad. Actually, if I come out of the mask and zoom in on here and then back into the mask again, you'll see that just the shadow, I just wanted to get a little bit of detail out there, but not too much. Still needs a little bit of shadow in there because otherwise it won't look natural. So it's just rocking that around. A little bit of clarity on that as well, just to make them, because they are kind of the main bits of the image, and that I think looks okay. So if we come out of the mask, so I wish we could, there probably is a way of coming out of that without going out of the mask, but I've yet to find it. So if we go back in here and look at the gradient, you can just see that it's affected this one more than these two. So we take that off, close the mask, and that is what we have. So I'm going to apply those settings now to the next one, and there's one that we've got a sunrise, so I quite like these. It suits us. It suits this kind of a crop rather than a square crop, because of the fact that this sky is really, really nice. If I go square, I'm going to lose it. Just going to have this bit. Great stuff. So I'm not sure you can see this now, but the sun is just coming up over the harbour there, so I'm going to move across to the right a little bit more and try and shoot into it. Okay, so that's looking good. I've just got to be careful I don't lose the blacks but in this post, because there is some lovely old bits of shell and barnacles and it's been bashed. Now often they use cable release for this because you want to time the waves, but actually because it's so gentle it's actually alright just to use this. I've got my cable release, could get it, I might get it out later, but I'm happy to when that wave comes in. Look at that lovely reflection off the sand now. That's going to look beautiful. It's a half a second exposure, so I'm getting a bit of movement in the sea. And now the sun has come out. And actually with F20, I should get a bit of a starburst. Just going to move so I've got this post in the gap between the other two lots, and that looks wonderful. Really happy with that so far. Just going to tip it down a little bit now. So we're on F20, wait for the sea to come in and bash, and then the outwash is often nice as well because we've got the sun reflecting off the sand. Look at that, what a wonderful day. So I've come across this scene and I really love and always have these lovely marram grasses. They're beautiful, and with a lovely delicate sky like we've got, I think they're going to look really nice. Now the problem I've got with this shot is I'm going to get my shadow in if I'm not careful, because my shadow's falling right across it. So I'm going to set the timer to 10 seconds from 2. And that's going to allow me to get out of the way. And I've got somebody coming as well, so I've got the moon up. Right, let's go this way behind you. And there we go. Let's have a look at the picture. Still got the tripod in, so I can't do a great deal about, so I am just going to move the composition a bit so that I've got some grasses in the front here, so that at least the tripod's not so obvious. Now I've still got some mist behind that building, everything's straight. I'm also going to look down the harbour a bit because that's quite interesting. And I should be able, I think, it's not going to be easy to get rid of that tripod, but we'll see. I'm going to shoot it anyway, and then we'll see if we can't do something about it in post. So F20, 5th of a second, got a grad on the top just to hold that sky, it's a little bit bright. Walk this way out the way, 10-second timer. Another one in the bag. So I thought I'd just jump in here and show you this. Which one are we going to choose? Let's choose that one. So what I'm going to do with this is edit in Photoshop. That will then open that image up in Photoshop. And now they've got a really good tool in Photoshop now called Content Aware. So what we need to do is move Photoshop over a bit. We need to go to we're going to go with the quick selection tool. Object selection tool would be better if it was a person, but that kind of all works, not quite actually. Just need to pull that out a little bit up there. There we go. And now what I need to do is go to edit, content aware fill, and there, look, that's now completely gone, which is amazing, a marvelous thing. So I'm going to save that now and open it back up into Lightroom, and we've got rid of the tripod. Bingo.
Really enjoying this. Going to take a photograph along the beach now, because that's going to be easier for me to not get my shadow in, but actually these grasses with some mist across the coast looks wonderful. So let's go move up there. So this is probably going to be the final image of the day, because the sun's well up now, it's quite bright, there's no cloud about, which is actually lovely, but photography is getting a little bit too bright now. I've got a load of swimmers in the sea up there. It's kind of a picture of nothing really, you'd think, but the marron grasses are lovely, as I've explained before, and actually some nice mists along the coast and some interesting black beach huts, which this place is famous for. So I might shoot some pictures of them, but for now there's a nice fence as well. I think this is going to look really good as a print. One of those things, if it's a print you'll see the detail. If it's just an image on the screen you probably won't. If I put it on Instagram for instance, it will get nothing at all as far as likes or attention, or nobody will really see the point of it. But photography is not necessarily about Instagram. Photography for me is about capturing the landscape, and it's absolutely gorgeous here by the sea. It's done me a load of good this. I've had ups and downs in this kind of career of mine, and I think the last couple of weeks have been a bit of a downer. I've had 3 shoots I've shot at, and I haven't really been that happy with everything. The photographs has not been great, the weather's been rubbish, and I felt a little bit kind of miserable about it. But I had a good old chat with a mate of mine, so thanks Tim, last night, and he encouraged me to carry on and to do stuff, and just we had a little discussion. So I thought I'd come out again today. Weather looked promising and it hasn't disappointed. It's been great. So I'll put the images on the screen now, and hopefully you'll enjoy them. Don't want to make this video too long. That's one of the things we discussed. So until next week then, if you haven't subscribed, think about doing so, and I'll see you next week. Goodbye.